sarcasm of fury.
I mean, of all the subjects to kick off my YouTube New Year, you know, I really don't want to talk about them because it's like talking to a brick wall, and it's Nintendo fans. Hey, look, I'm a fan of Nintendo also, but there's a realm of realism that you need to tread with being a fandom of any of the three big consoles, and PC too, because there's another level of delusion. You know, a lot of PC people talk with this whole mindset like, oh yeah, we the master race, and a lot of the PC people don't have strong enough rigs, but because they on a platform that is open for them to have strong enough rigs, they talk so much shit. But anyway, on subject here, Nintendo fans have got to be some of the most delusional, still going on. It hasn't changed. It probably got worse during the pandemic. You know, around the news that the Nintendo Switch Pro isn't a thing. Nintendo keep denying it. And of course, a lot of people think that's just more reason why it is. I don't know. They need, honestly, in my opinion, they need one. Because we have a select group of grown ass people who don't realize that Nintendo's Switch hardware is outdated. It's been outdated from the release. And I'm not saying that for a Nintendo thing. I'm saying that because Nintendo, look, before I go on, Nintendo can do very good games. You know, their first party games are their bread and butter. They can do that with any hardware that they put out there for themselves. This is why Nintendo Switch has been successful. You know, being that the fact that the fans won't let them die. I ain't saying let them die, but you see, let me shut up. Let me shut up. My thing is, it's like this. Nintendo can put shit in the cartridge and people would think it's gold. That's how a lot of the Nintendo fans get the reputation of being delusional. And most of the times, the games aren't terrible. It's just monotonous. It's just redundant. The type of games they release, and people just give them such high praise for their redundancy. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. So, with all the denial that they release in the new Switch, or them thinking that they don't need to release one, as we go into having the new Xbox and the new PlayStation out, and my thing is, there's a part of the Nintendo ecosystem that needs to have supplemental third-party games. And of course, everybody want to bring up everybody else's games. Want to bring up indie games. And I'm like, okay, that's all well and good. But here's my problem with the Nintendo Switch when it comes to playing third-party games. There's a few problems. One, the hardware will run an inferior version, which will have performance issues, which has been proven numerous time and time again when it comes to a lot of things related to third-party multi-platform releases with Nintendo. There's a lot of issues with that. So that's one with the hardware. God, I lost what I was about to say about the other issue. Oh, yes, right. That's right. It came right back to me. Connectivity issue. Case in point, look at Mortal Kombat 11. You cannot play the full game unless you have a constant internet connection. I've brought this up numerous times. And there's many games that just you have to have constant connectivity to play the full game because of the hardware limitations. So they go hand in hand. And when I say things like this, people think I'm being a hater. No, I'm just being realistic. I'm not hating. I want a Nintendo console that goes back to being a console. People think hybrids are the move of the future. No, they're not. If they aren't able to run on their own outside of the house, they're not the future. Okay? I mean, they're good for, there's certain games that you can pick up and play, and they will stay on the cartridge, but they will not, there's games of that nature. But the thing is, it's hardware space. That's always going to be the issue. So you're going to be swapping out, not only swapping out cartridges, you're going to be swapping out memory cards, unless you want to do the full digital thing, which I would recommend with the Nintendo Switch. But you will have to switch out your SD cards quite often. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm fine with that. But there's still the connectivity issue that's a problem. We're playing a lot of games that need constant internet because you're playing the rest of the game remotely due to limitations. Nintendo needs to go back to making a standard console. They really do. I'm not saying abandon the Switch. The Switch is super successful, but you need a console at home. You really do. And it don't have to be anywhere on a par of a PlayStation 5 or a Series X. If you gave us something that was on a par of I would say a base level PlayStation 4, even a Pro pushing it, a PlayStation 4 Pro or 1X, one or the other, I would be fine with that, because that still means a lot of third-party games can still come to a Nintendo format, and then you can still have the first-party Nintendo games that they are so well known for at your disposal, and those can be even more grandiose. Imagine the Legend of Zelda running on something as powerful as a PS4 Pro and a Series X. I mean, look what they've done with lesser. But this isn't all about just the graphics. This is basically about the shelf life, the longevity game. And people are like, well, Nintendo's successful. I know that. I know that, Einstein. But they could be even more successful. You need variety. You really do. Because you think I'm going to choose playing Dead by Daylight on the Nintendo Switch versus playing it on either my PlayStation PC or my Xbox One X. You're out of your ever-loving mind. Okay? Because like I said, portability don't mean nothing to me. How are you going to connect and play with friends outside of the house on Dead by Daylight? Really? Really? You got to sit home and play with it. Yo, anyway, you get what So, maybe a lot of them do. But anyway, you don't need a stronger Switch. You need a traditional console. And I'm going to continue to say this. And if you are a Nintendo fanboy, you can get mad, scratch your ass, and get glad. Okay? It's like my grandmother and my mom used to say, it's a Southern thing. I don't know what it means, but it oh my God. Honestly, there's only so much Mario and Zelda and Kirby you can play. Waiting every new generation just to play the same games over and over again. Okay? And what has made you able to sustain that wait? Third-party games. And they need to continue to make hardware that rises to the occasion of the times. Okay, not for the first party. Like I said earlier in the video, they can make magic with less. My thing is that they need this to get all those popular third-party games that are multi-platform that they can't get. They can get some, but like I said, it's at the sacrifice of performance, frame rate, which is performance. Why I keep repeating that. Yeah, it's at performance and fidelity. It really is. But anyway, y'all, because I'm a Fury, I'm here, and now I'm out. Peace.